What we've been focusing on so far are the ways to measure the center of the observations of given datasets, of which median is the one which divides the observations into two halves. What if we want more refined distinctions than just two halves? This is where quantiles come in. Examples of quantiles include quartiles, dividing the dataset into quarters; quintiles, dividing into fifths; deciles, dividing into tenths; and percentiles, dividing into hundredths. Note that any quantile can be expressed as a percentile. For example, this point can be called the third quartile or 75th percentile. This point can be called the second quintile or 40th percentile. And this point can be called the 8th decile or 80th percentile. You get the point. To visualize a dataset based on quantiles, we can create a box and whisker plot. A straight line right through the middle, known as the whiskers, plot the range from the lowest observation to the highest observation in the dataset. The box plots the range from the lowest observation in the second quartile to the highest observation in the third quartile. This is known as the interquartile range. And a straight line through the middle plots the median observation of the dataset. An X will mark the arithmetic mean of the dataset. From this plot, we can observe that the lowest observation is farther away from the center than the largest observation. This suggests that the data might include more outliers on the low side, which may skew some measures of central tendency, like the mean. In some cases, an analyst may decide that outliers should be excluded from a measure of central tendency. One technique for doing so is to use a trimmed mean. A trimmed mean discards a stated percentage of the most extreme observations. A 10% trimmed mean, for example, would discard the lowest 5% and the highest 5% of the observations, so only the middle 90% of the ordered observations are considered in the calculation of the trimmed mean. Another technique is to use a Windsorized mean. Instead of discarding the highest and lowest observations, we substitute a value for them. For example, to calculate a 90% Windsorized mean, we would determine the 5th and 95th percentile of the observations. Any values lower than the 5th percentile will be substituted with 5th percentile value, and any values greater than the 95th percentile will be substituted with 95th percentile value. So in essence, all the observations are considered in the calculation of the mean, just that the extreme outliers are substituted with values that are not too extreme.
You're watching an excerpt from our comprehensive animation library. For more videos like these, head on down to prepnuggets.com. At Prep Nuggets, let us do the hard work for you.